This is my journal for, I guess, my second full day in India. Although it is still the middle of the day here. I went out this morning, well, for the second time. I went out for the first time yesterday to the police commissioner's office to register. And of course, the paperwork that they told me I have to have is nothing like the paperwork I actually have to have. Not to mention, it's a good thing I got like 100 extra passport photos because apparently I'm going to need all of them. So that was really good. And thank you to the woman at Walgreens who gave me several of those extra for free because, it looks like I'm going to need all of them. So I went and I brought them the paperwork that they said they needed, and then of course they tacked on about 3 other things, which of course between the school and the hotel I can't possibly have for another 3 days. And they of course will not be working in the next 2 days because of the election, so that was really fun. However, of course, he expects me to continue to come back with more paperwork. And of course, no matter how many times I told them at school that I have my reservation here till the 16th and and technically I can't move in until the 17th, of course, they said, well, let's bump you up to the 14th just to be sure. So I'm sure there's going to be more problems, and that's going to be a huge pain. But one way or the other, I'll be moving into my dormitory soon, so you guys will be able to see what that looks like. And moving in is a loose term because given that I think this is going to be a lot nicer than that, I'm definitely going to probably stay out my remaining nights here where I have my own bathroom. So then I'm trying to decide between going to Darjeeling, which I think will be a pretty lengthy trip, because I kind of want to see the Taj Mahal when I have people here, who also might want to see that. And I get the feeling that Darjeeling is actually kind of a lengthy trip because there's no airport there, so you have to eventually take a train in, and I just think that would be really cool to see. But I'm also going to call some of the recommendations, Nikki and Divya, you guys gave me before I left, and see if I can maybe at least have a friend to talk this over with, or to have dinner with, or maybe take me shopping, because I do have a lot of that still needs to be done. And on a sadder note, I actually, we were going across the bridge today, and there was a number of people gathered sort of on both sides, and somebody jumped. And then, of course, everybody was trying to run across the crowded street to see the people who had jumped. And I asked my cab driver, what he thought was going on, and he explained to me basically, he said, well, someone jumped, and everybody looked so excited on the bridge, and people even looked, happy, and I thought maybe this must be some goof, and I said, well, is that just some silly thing that college kids do? And he said, no, suicide's pretty common here. So I guess I saw my first Indian suicide today, and that was not exactly what I expected. And then, of course, we went on with our day. I went to IMA, I met the officials, I had a lovely lunch, another thali, which I think I probably don't need any more thalis, although I put video up of the place I went. It was really nice. And so this afternoon, I'm thinking I might go do some fabric shopping. One of the guys at the hotel priced out some cell phones for me, so maybe eventually I'll be able to actually call people, which will be awesome, because even though I only have about 2 people I know right now here in Ahmedabad that I can call, I can tell it will be of a great benefit, because most places here you want to call to book and call to check, because most of the information you have is limited, to say the least. So, those are today's adventures. Last night I went to a place called Vishala, which is a place, it's kind of like, I think it's probably like medieval times or like colonial Williamsburg in America. It basically is set up like a Gujarati village from many years ago, and they serve you thali, and they show you, there are dances and crazy puppet shows with like snakes and stuff, and you eat on the ground off of these like low tables, and they have a different person carrying each course, and you drink a lot of buttermilk with thali. This is my second sort of formal thali. I had thali at the Gopi Dining Room, which is supposed to be really, sort of a good place to get it here in town more casually. But both the place I went today and that place both serve like buttermilk, and to be honest with you, like the way they mix things in, it tastes kind of like sour cream on Mexican food, or like or maybe like some sort of guacamole, because it's very thick, and then they typically put in a lot of cumin and some lime and some salt. So, pretty good though. I'm getting used to it, and it does help settle the stomach, which is what they tell me it does. I've had a lot of dairy since I've been here, and that's been pretty much fine. However, I realized the pressure to eat things that I am not supposed to eat for my system, like all kinds of like fresh salads, and of course, the fruit and the vegetables just look so good. And for some reason, juice is okay, apparently, according to my doctor and all the other people I've talked to. But actual fruit and vegetables you can't have, and that's just terrible because everything just looks delicious. So that's been really difficult. And also, I'm sure I've heard a lot of feelings. A lot of waiters keep asking me, is this okay? And you're like, everything's fine. I just can't eat 85% of what you set out here. So that's been a little painful. But yeah, so that was the last like 24 hours. And I'm sure in the next 24 hours, I'll have more adventures to share, both interesting and frightening. And I'll keep you guys up to date. See you next time.